everyone, and welcome to IGN Anime Club.
Yay!
Yay! This is IGN's conversational anime show. We just kind of talk about a cool anime topic. I'm your host, Miranda Sanchez, and with me, as always, is Elena Yee.
Hello.
Megan Sullivan.
Sporting my glasses.
Callie Plague.
Hi.
Hey, so...
We all have glasses today.
Oh, yeah, we're like glasses crew.
We're like
It's
the
the
Megan A
Club.
party. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
That really should be a thing. Megan A party.
Megan
Yeah.
Party.
Megan A party. That's us.
Yeah, so today we're just kind of jumping into what we're watching. We don't have any fancy guests or anything.
Last week was
Last
fun,
week we
though.
had
Last
week
week
was
was
a
so much
ton
fun. If you guys missed last week's, definitely catch up. Vic Mignogna was here. He's the voice of Edward Elric in Full Metal Alchemist and a bazillion other voices, and he was a lot of fun on the show, and we're hoping that, everyone watched and had a good time.
Yeah. Also, I hope everybody congratulated Callie on her engagement. Did anybody actually?
Literally, someone tweeted at me and was like, "Are you really engaged?"
Yes!
And I'm like, "Nope."
Wait, back up. I did not know about this. What is happening right now?
When Callie left
it was
the
a
show.
pun.
Yeah,
Oh,
Callie
that's
I said
right.
I had an engagement because I had to leave early to give a tour.
Oh my god, now I remember. For a second, I was like, "You got
And then-
engaged?"
no, someone tweeted at me and was like, "Oh my god, are you really engaged?" And I was like,
Yes.
"No."
In an activity.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So that really happened. Thank you, kind citizen.
Kind citizen. God, I got confused for a second. I totally forgot about that. I was like, really?
I'm not engaged.
Tamaki senpai?
Tamaki.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Okay. No. Still. Nope.
We need to have an engagement party anyway.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that sounds like fun though.
Yeah.
Anime party. Can watch anime.
And Miranda can bake us a cake.
Yes, that's true. Something you learned on Food Wars.
Yeah. No, they don't bake cakes, but they
haven't done
cook
cakes yet?
awesome things. No, just
No,
mostly
just savory.
Just savory stuff,
dishes.
not
Yeah.
sweet stuff.
Yeah, they're so good though.
All
I
right,
want
maybe
it.
that's for like
So
the
good.
next season that they'll have like desserts as the theme.
That would be awesome. I'd like to see them make desserts. But yeah, aside from Food Wars, what have you guys been up to this season? What have you been watching?
I've
Anything
been
new?
super consistent about what I've been watching. I know it's bad because I need to catch up on School Live because you guys like it so
Yeah.
much.
Oh, it's so
I'm
good.
still stuck on the second episode and hating everything about that series. Sorry, guys.
Elena, why?
You can't hear me shaking
No,
my
it's
head,
okay.
audience.
It's okay.
We are shaking our heads.
I can't help it. I'm just full of the hate, apparently. But not as much as you would think, because I am loving Gangsta. I am so excited about where they're taking that. It's only, I think, 12 episodes.
Mhm.
So we're kind of reaching that, first climax, at least, in the series, or this, run. So I like where it's going. Some of the stuff with Alex is starting to make... I don't know about it make more sense, but it's starting to make me a little bit more interested in what's going on with her. It's weird. It's really interesting, really weird. I don't want to spoil it because I know you want to catch up.
Yeah, I didn't watch the most recent episode because I fell asleep at like 8:45 last night. So
Yay for old lady naps.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love those. They're the
Yeah.
best.
They're the best.
yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I went to sleep at 1 because of DOTA, but
Well,
DOTA.
Well, you're not an old lady, so it's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
we're the same age. I shouldn't be
Yeah,
going to
I
bed at
don't know.
8:45.
Quick tangent. You're wearing like periwinkle blue nail polish, and Elena is wearing sort of a lighter version of the same nail polish. I feel like we have like a running theme, like
Blue? Just a
blue.
day.
Like I'm wearing a blue shirt, you're wearing blue nails. We're all wearing glasses.
Blue jacket.
I feel like the stars are in alignment
We
right now.
really coordinated this podcast today.
we really did.
You gotta-
Anyways,
if you're not watching the video,
yeah, Gangsta. Sorry.
Gangsta does not have color matching unless you count red blood,
Blood
on
on
red
everything.
on everything.
Blood on everyone's shirts.
Just blood on everything.
They're all
Let me
coordinated
ask you
too.
though, did the showdown with Nick and the other guy pay off? Do you feel like that paid off?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was not. How do I put this? I think that it was a really interesting fight because you learn a lot about the Twilights. But I don't know if it's necessarily that kind of fight where you find it super satisfying to just see people really just go at it.
I think they did well though. I mean, they balanced information with the fight. The fight took almost half the episode, and so you got to see a lot of great shots of them fighting. And then Warwick comes in and does his talking and stuff. I don't want to spoil it too much because I know Kylie haven't seen it, but I think they did a really good job of blending that too and reaching a good conclusion. Of course, it's great to see two high class Twilights. So.
Right.
I think it was good.
I'm excited.
I wouldn't say that it wasn't good. I would
Yeah.
just say it was a different kind of fight than I was
Sure,
expecting.
it's not like full-on episode them going at each other, Sasuke, Naruto,
Yeah, I think I
I was gonna bring up
No, I was
Naruto.
actually
Yes, I was
expecting
I
it.
was also thinking about
I was actually
Naruto.
expecting it to be more like that, like where you get those like really stereotypical shonen fights where they're
Like the
just
showdown
beating the
Yeah.
crap out of each other, and
Yeah.
like one
Like-
person gets the upper hand, and then the other person gets the upper hand. Like it's not quite like
Yeah,
that
like I
at
thought it was
all.
gonna be like a 3-episode long like Lee Gara
With a bunch
fight.
of internal monologues about how strong the other person is and what can
I
they
was
do
like,
to
all
get
right,
past
I'm
them.
ready for this fight
Yeah,
sequence.
no, it's very different.
Okay.
And also a lot less abs than I was hoping for.
Aww.
So there's a running joke between us now about Gangsta and its abs. If you're not into abs on men, you probably won't care about this. But
That's okay too, but we are all fans of the abs.
Yes, gangsta abs.
Thanks to abs.
Yes.
Whew. Whew, boy.
and then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, I've been watching Snow White.
Oh
with
yeah,
the
how's
head-
that?
Oh yeah, has that been
Keeping up.
improving for you? Oh no.
I made a noise. Let me translate that for everyone who doesn't speak Elena Grunt. It is exactly what you would expect, but it is not what I want. But I will keep watching. It's very light, like very thin shoujo fare. Like
Is this like a hate watch thing where it's like I need to see it through based on principle and not so much, oh, I've got to find out what happens next?
I wouldn't say it's a hate watch for me. It's a more like a fingers crossed that I get a little more substance out of this eventually watch. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'll keep watching it just to see what happens. I do like that they both have this kind of really nice approach to the relationship, because at this point it's pretty much established. They like each other. They're going to get together someday, something like that, right? I know. Shocker.
Wow.
Big spoiler. Sorry, everybody. But I like that the approach is not one-sided, where one character, because you see this a lot, I feel like, as a trope in shoujo, where one character, usually the girl, is like, well, I want to be the best I can be for this guy, so I'm worthy of him someday. And I'm like, no, sister, don't do that. They both do that. And so it makes it seem much more like neutral that way, right? Where it's more like, I want to be the best person I can be, so this person is proud to be with me.
Okay, I kind of like that.
Yeah, I
That's
do.
better.
Like that.
Yeah.
I really like that attitude that kind of comes through in the show. And I do like that she's fairly independent through the whole thing. Though there's like a couple of moments of like tropes and stuff where like he puts a hand on the wall, like by her head.
Oh, that thing.
that thing.
There's like a name for that. It's supposed to be like the
There is a
sexiest,
name.
manliest thing that you can
Sure,
do.
More
you
the
like you take
creepiest thing.
control. Yeah,
There's
exactly.
actually
What's happening?
No, quick side note. There's actually memes now coming out of Japan, like Vine memes, where they'll be like it'll be like two guys, and one will be like, psh, psh, and then he'll put his like foot up on the wall, and like they collapse, and the one like guy does a handstand and puts his legs up on the wall. So there's memes about that trope.
All right, well, I know what I'm doing after this podcast. I'm going to go look those up.
Looking up whatever that thing is called, memes.
But it was so weird because that happened in this episode that I was just watching. I think it's episode 5, the latest one. And it's so random when like Zen does this. He's just like, psh, and I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, why are you doing this now?
Yeah, it could be sexy or it could be threatening.
Yeah, it could be like, now you're trapped and you can't go anywhere.
Right?
Person, situation, all that good stuff. But
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you're keeping up with it.
Yeah, I'm glad
I
somebody
dropped it
is
so
because I
fast.
dropped it
I was like,
after the first episode.
Bye. Yeah.
It's like a self-contained
Yeah, I was like,
24-minute episode. It's like,
what's
I'm good.
already done?
Yeah, I was like, oh, well, that was a story. I have a friend actually who's a huge fan of it, so
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
waiting. You know,
interesting.
I want your input on the next couple episodes because I want to see what's the draw. Because my friend is all about that show.
What does your friend like about it?
I don't know. She's just a huge fan.
Oh.
She like read the manga or whatever. She's super into it. And I'm like,
the
well,
manga might be better because
maybe.
sometimes if you start with the manga, you kind of fall in love with that story. So even when the anime doesn't do a good job or as good of a job in
Right.
executing on that, you'll still watch it because
Yeah.
it reminds you of something you like.
Yeah, especially with pacing. When you go back and forth between manga and anime, manga you read so fast. Like you can
Yeah.
get through it one solid volume in like an hour maybe.
yeah.
If or less, depending on how fast you read and how fast you go through it. So if you say the first episode is one chapter and it's really slow, then you don't feel the same whenever you're reading the manga. It's
Yeah,
different.
going from manga to anime can
Yeah.
be weird.
Yeah, definitely.
What are you guys watching?
Oh, Himouto Umaru-chan.
Me too. It's so cute.
Did you watch the most recent episode?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know Megan really doesn't like Umaru-chan.
She is hot garbage, and I don't mean like in the good way. I mean she is just trash.
Whoa, those are some harsh
She
words.
is trash.
Okay, so the first episode I was like, God, I hate her, but I kind of want to keep watching this show. And then the most recent episode had like all these cute references, like there was like a Steins Gate kind of reference.
Yeah.
And they
So timely. So thanks,
Right?
guys.
Very
Listening to
good.
our show.
Very
No.
thoughtful.
transition. Yeah.
Only way too soon.
Yeah, way too soon transition. We'll get there. And you know she's at a Street Fighter competition, but it's not called Street Fighter.
Something very close is obviously Street Fighter.
But just like very obviously Street Fighter. And I just enjoyed the most recent episode like a lot. I was watching it on my lunch break yesterday and just like kind of giggling to myself. And like Alex Roth, who sits like across from me, kind of leaned around his computer to like see what I was laughing at because I was just kind of like, this is so cute. And he thought he's like, are you okay? It's like, no, this show is really cute now. But I like all the gaming references in the intro even. But I can understand why you don't like her because she's a trash human being.
So yeah, she's a trash human being. I will say this: I tried to watch it the first time, and I got maybe 10 minutes through before I wanted to drop kick my iPad across the room. I wanted to rewatch it last night, but I didn't have time. But I'm curious to know if you keep watching it, does it get better? Is there any redeeming qualities that come through with Umaru? I think you mentioned a little bit in this episode. There was some redeeming factor to her.
Yeah, she gains kind of insight into another person, which is the least selfish thing I've seen her do so far. And so I'm hoping that they're building towards kind of character development with her.
Yeah, I mean, also just kind of like one of those fun shows you just watch to watch a silly character be silly.
Yeah.
It's kind of like just one of those character shows. It's not really meant to have like an overarching purpose. But it is nice to see that we're getting more development for other characters as well, and they're taking a bigger precedence in the show.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had 1 or 2 episodes before where she had her other friend. And then we're kind of moving on to getting more of that as well. I mean, we see that like in the ending theme. They have like all of them hanging out on the beach and stuff. So it's like, I guess you have to be friends sometime.
Yeah, they're going to be friends because they're all on the beach in bikinis together.
So yeah,
That's how that works.
Maru has to get other friends eventually, but
Yeah.
you know, for right now, it's still just fun like to watch all the references and all the nerdy stuff she does. It's like, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
know
love
those
the
times.
I love the references because I'm like, oh, yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, it's like, oh, just grabbing all the junk food from the convenience store, plopping down and playing games for hours upon end.
Reading Shonen Jump, I'm like, oh, sounds familiar.
But I don't whine at my brother to go and get me go buy me potato chips. Go buy me.
It is kind of fun to see how she like manipulates him though.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just, it's like, come on, dude, and like how he tries to outwit her, like, and treats her like a child at the same point. Sometimes it can be a little overbearing, but I think it is kind of funny.
Yeah, I didn't think I would dislike anyone more than the younger sister and Charlotte, which I am still keeping up with. But man, Umaru-chan's giving her a run for money.
Yeah, the Ju-on reference at the end of the 3rd episode
Oh
was
my God.
really good.
Oh. I got so scared because I was alone and my boyfriend was out of town, so I was like home alone just with the cat, and it was dark, and I was watching at night, and I'm, like I've said before, I'm just like crap with scary stuff. I'm the worst. And so it's just like a Ju-on thing. Like they were watching.
You're watching Ju-on, which, if you don't know, is the Japanese name for The Grudge. It's the Japanese version of The Grudge.
And so they're watching it, so it's like the anime version of The Grudge while someone's watching it.
Yeah, so you're watching her watch the anime version
Right.
of Ju-on, and I've actually seen Ju-on. Like I haven't seen the American version. I've only seen the Japanese version. And it is really creepy. And so I watched that. I think I watched that on my lunch break also because I've been watching this show on my lunch break. And I was like, what? I did not expect this. Like,
really
super
creepy.
scary, like creepy. Well, because I remember like the sounds that she makes in that movie, and I was like, no. It's creepy. But they kind of threw that in at the end of the episode.
Yeah,
I
it
was
was
like,
like
okay.
after the ending sort of thing, and it was, oh my gosh, it's so creepy. Like, I mean, though it's a silly show, but it still creeps me out. It works.
But I love all those references that they
it's just
throw in there.
A super fun, silly show. It's like.
Speaking of
Yeah.
creepy, can we talk about School Live and the whole thing with the mall?
Oh.
That.
Oh, wait. We don't want to
Well, I
spoil
haven't
it.
gotten
Oh no, you
there
haven't
yet.
gotten there. Okay, I
So-
won't
Okay,
spoil it.
We'll save. I think maybe towards the end of the season we'll kind of do like a spoiler casty sort of.
I really
want
want to do a spoiler cast of this.
Yeah,
I
if we could get the support for that, we'd totally do like a spoiler cast thing for School Live.
Yeah,
And,
'cause
break down
There's so
everything.
much to go through and talk about.
And in the Facebook group, hi Facebook group. Yay, Facebook group.
what's the address for this Facebook group?
Facebook.com/group/IGN Anime Club.
With official in the title.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of the Facebook group, there were like some really cool like theories going on in a thread on the Facebook group. So if there is interest in a spoiler cast, like I would definitely want to do one because there's so much cool foreshadowing that you kind of have to go back and get. So
I feel like it's the smartest, for me at least, it's the smartest show this season because I didn't expect it. And the foreshadowing, and then the way they set up the next foreshadowing, then they explain certain things. Like, it's so cleverly done.
Yes, the storytelling is really brilliant. Like, I love that they start out kind of in the present time, and then they kind of weave these threads of how they all got there, what happened on the day the outbreak happened.
And it's short, too. It's only 12 episodes, kind of like Gangsta. So it should be pretty concise and just well-contained. So I don't think there's ever going to be, like, filler episodes, which I appreciate. So I'm super excited to see where it ended on a cliffhanger, and I don't know what happens, and I want to know.
I don't want to wait for Thursday.
Yeah, I know. We're still 2 days away.
Now. Yeah.
It's super good. Also watching Ushio and Tora, which is...
How's that been?
It's been really good. It's been... This week's was sort of a mix of very kind of dark and, like, it has its funny moments, but this is sort of one of the darker ones where, like, Ushio and Tora are still butting heads, which I really like. And there's always something to bring them together. And the ending was really cute with the hamburger reference. But I still thought last week's was a little funnier when Tora has to go to the city and keeps getting hit by cars and running into buildings. And like, it's hilarious. It's just, it was like this weird like slapstick angle to it. And this week's was a little more serious, but still has really good action, really cool references to Japanese folklore and things like that. So if you haven't seen Ushio and Tora, and you like sort of 90s shonen action stuff with a little bit of slapstick, it's a really good show. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, that's one that I've been meaning to keep up with. I've been pretty bad with anime this season. Like last season, I was on top of everything. I was just like, yeah,
It's so weird. I'm like the opposite. Like last season, it was, you know, my love story or bust. And now I'm like watching so many different things.
Still watching that.
I'm still watching that show. Oh,
It
gosh.
makes me feel squishy and warm.
It just makes me want to cuddle. Like that show
Right?
is just painful. Like
Yeah, it's just one of those. It's just such a well done romance. Like just a good depiction of high school romance and how that plays into everyday life.
yeah, and I liked how in the most recent episode, the Christmas episode, I think that was the most recent one.
Yeah, that was last week's.
Yeah, last week's. We get to look at a different kind of relationship, and they're, it's I call him Afro-san because I forget his name. It's like Kurihara or something, and Nanako. They kind of have this like, they're not lovey-dovey like Yamato and Takeo, and it's nice to see like, okay, so there's different kinds of relationships out there. I just liked that episode a lot. It was really cute.
Yeah, it was very cute. It's
Afro-san.
nice to see something revolve around, like their friends instead of just Yamato and, them having like Takeo having the spotlight all the time.
Skida!
And like,
Yeah.
Sometimes with Suna, but changing it up is kind of fun. So
Yeah, I like
it's a good
seeing
episode.
the surrounding characters a lot, and I liked how like Afro-san had to like kind of pull himself together because he's all like, she's like, "What are we?" And he's like, "I'm no friends." And I was like, "Afro-san, no, why did you do that?" I was like feeling her pain. I was like, "Oh, relate to you." I also relate to Saijo-san so much. It's just, that show's so good.
It's so good.
So good.
So cute.
Yeah, I was like not on top of anime last season, and this season I'm trying to keep up with a bunch of stuff, but I need to catch up on Ushio and Tora.
I'm the worst in this week or this season.
You're
Well,
the-
okay, the international's happening.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know, Dota is pretty big in my life.
Pretty big
so
being
it's
the ultimate
Valve's-
understatement.
Oh yeah, that's
It's
not.
Valve's MOBA. If you don't know what Dota is, if you don't know what MOBAs are, then we can't be friends.
Whoa.
Just kidding. So their biggest tournament is going on right now, which is the international. Like there's a tons of different tournaments going on, and it has a prize pool of $18 million. So
What?
sit on that. Yeah. So the top 6 teams. At least the top 6 teams all go home with at least $1 million.
So that's what you tell your parents when they're like, "What are you doing with your life?" And
Yeah,
you say,
so-
"Well, the prize pool at the international is a lot of money."
Yeah, so it's going
so
on last week and this week, and grand finals are this Saturday. And so I'm actually going up to go see it this Thursday, so I'm really excited.
Yay.
But my life has been consumed with Dota talk.
I tried to follow the Twitter feeds, but I gotta tell you, it's all incomprehensible gibberish to me. It's so confusing.
I don't want to go too much because people probably don't care, but it is kind of complex if you don't know what's going on. Like if you don't understand the game, then it is definitely kind of hard to watch.
yeah, I really
But-
want to get into it, but I'm afraid of being
Don't be
bad.
afraid. It's okay. I'll teach you.
Can you train me,
Yeah, well,
senpai?
I'll make an alt
Sorry, I
account.
brought it back to anime. See what I did?
That was a good way to do that.
I'll be your Dota senpai. That's fine.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. So we can
Is
get on
there
that.
an anime call to action? Somebody tell us on our Facebook page or on Twitter at #IGN Anime. Is there a Dota-esque anime? I feel like there should be. If there's
No,
not.
but I really want to write
because
a
there's an
Dota-
MMO one, a couple.
I really want to write a Dota dating sim because there's so many characters.
I mean,
sounds like
so is it based
fanfic.
on your life though?
Like Dota fan fiction, just like interactive.
Yeah, maybe.
Instead of Hatoful
Oh my God.
boyfriend, it would be like
Anime Club, we should all work on a VN together. Oh my
They'll be
gosh.
just like, oh gosh, what's that show from last season? There's a show, or maybe the season before. Yeah, the season before. It's been too long. But there's a show about, it's like a kind of a harem where this group of kids are making a visual novel together. So,
Oh, I heard about
VM.
that. Yeah, so we should all do that.
Yeah.
yeah. I know there's an anime and manga thing about like manga artists and doing that sort of thing. I know we
Gekkan
can write.
Shoujo.
Yeah, we
Like,
can.
yeah.
We can definitely do better writing than Makura no Danshi, which is really garbage.
Have you guys been keeping up with that?
We watched it at work yesterday.
What?
Just
How did I miss this?
I don't know. You were not there.
Yeah, I don't
At
think
your
you're at
desk. Yeah. No, it was. I mean, it's only like 4 minutes, but you did not miss anything.
Yeah, they're just getting weirder.
Which one is this one this week?
Accent
Dialect boy.
Dialect boy.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he's
So
just
this week on
just
Makura
weird.
no Danshi.
Yeah, Makura
Yeah.
no Danshi.
So-
Some guy sits on a bus with you and talks about copying your homework, and no, he doesn't want to copy your homework, and
That you're the
Yeah,
only nice person to him in school when
Yeah,
he
the only nice
transferred
person to
in.
him.
Yeah, because he like transferred from
The country.
the country.
Yeah.
And so that's where his accent comes from, I guess. And he's like, everyone hates me, and I tried too hard, and I dyed my hair red, and and then like he's like, oh, copy your homework? No, I can't do that. You'll get in trouble too. And I'm like, wow, that's
and that's
not.
basically how it ends. And you're like, what is?
Like,
what am I
If
watching?
you're trying to be romantic, it's not working.
Yeah,
So,
it was
Is
just
this for
super awkward.
people who don't even have that kind of interaction with their classmates?
I guess.
We don't know
seems
what
like-
it is.
Seems like it's scraping the bottom of the barrel a little bit.
Yeah.
It's super bizarre. But we can't seem to stop watching it because it's only 3 minutes long.
It's like watching a train wreck. You
Right. It's
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Can't take
Car
eyes
by
away.
car.
3 minutes might as well, I guess. It's like,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
Let's
we're
see
waiting for
what's
the
going
morning
on.
meeting. It's
Yeah.
just, we're gonna watch this.
Yeah, no, after the morning meeting, we're like, okay, Makura no Danshi meeting time.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Ugh, no. I hope Library Boy picks it up a bit. 'Cause
Maybe
I've-
Library Boy will be quiet.
Yes.
Oh.
He'll just sit there. He'll be the
Stare at
strong,
you.
silent type.
And then
just
we
sit
can
there.
talk to him the whole time.
Yes, it's
That'd be
you use your
wonderful.
imagination.
Quiet. I'm reading.
Just
Yeah.
anyway.
So more on
library.
to other weird shows. So I finally got around to watching Shimoneta, A Boring World Where the Concept of Dirty Jokes Doesn't Exist. Super long title. I know a lot of people are really into this show, but I am just not. It's a type of humor that I don't really care for. I mean, we all have preferences.
Is it
Opinions,
super etchy? Is that
Yeah,
why,
I mean,
or
it's
just-
it's an etchy, like, of course, it mainly plays on the fact that this is a society, or Japan has outlawed like anything lewd, like porn, curse words, anything bad. Like they're like, we need to raise our morals for some unknown reason, and so all of it's just banned. And if you like, everyone has like these necklaces on, or like I guess they're more like collars.
Shock collars.
So they
Anyway.
didn't eliminate everything lewd then.
Hey!
So if they curse or say something lewd, then their collar will light up and the cops will come. Or the PM surveillance. PMS. Well, I don't know if that's supposed to
Military
mean
That's
something.
probably on purpose. Let's
Yeah.
be real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
We've all been
Yeah.
in middle school.
yes.
Let's be real.
Yes.
So they kind of come in like, burn your porn or whatever, which is one of the opening scenes. But
Porn burning party.
yeah, they're like, oh, I have to, these guys are just like, oh, my treasures, they're hiding in like in some abandoned building trying to look at their porn magazines, and then they say a curse word, and then the guys come in and light it on fire.
What's the punishment for being lewd?
So I think it depends on like the severity.
Go to the
of-
prison school.
No, it depends on the severity. I see what you did there.
Boom.
It's a very,
Megway.
like what you said
Megway.
and what you did. So like they'll make you do like community service or something else.
So what
Um,
happens if you actually wanted to do something that would be just considered obscene, like in the privacy of your home?
I
Like,
don't know.
How does
So,
Japan reproduce?
It doesn't. So this is like an interesting thing is that
Just saying.
Yeah, no dirty talk allowed.
yeah, I mean, it's just weird. Like, one kid gets, like, the main part of this one is that a kid gets into, like, the most moral school in Japan. Like, they have the
Doesn't
highest
sound
morals.
very fun.
Like, the kids there don't know what sex is or how, like, reproduction
Oh, that's
works.
bad.
Yeah,
That
like,
sounds
the
like
test-
America.
Like the tests are like
Sex
how does-
education.
yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of a fun parody on, like, how people treat, like, reproduction and stuff. It's like, this is a natural process. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's just, well, okay.
But they're
Yeah,
teenagers.
but
They've got hormones running everywhere.
Right. So it's like this really weird thing that relies on, like, of course, like, sexual humor, like, super heavy sexual humor. Like, this girl, she runs around, I think her name's, like, called Blue Snow. She runs with, like, underwear on her face, and she's, like, in a towel. So she's like, oh, if you guys come try to chase me, my towel will fall off. And that's more obscene than you want, so you can't do anything. And she runs around handing, like, cards with, like, half-naked girls on them and stuff. And just, like, she's, like, a terrorist, just trying
my
to,
God.
dirty up the world a little bit, or, like, their society. And she's like, well, if they can't, I don't want to adjust to their morals, so they can adjust to me, kind of thing. And she kind of, like, cons this guy, the main protagonist, into shoining her and creating a club that's gonna,
break
show-
the
moral code. Yeah, exactly. And I can see where it's funny for some people. It's kind of an interesting, like, definitely a play on how society is, like, so sensitive to some of that stuff. But I was just kind of like, like, shouting vulgarities and just, like, running around naked and stuff. It's just, like, not that funny for me.
It's
Like,
like
I was just-
it's like a shield to, like, gloss over, like, the edgy stuff. No, it has, like, a moral and a purpose, and it has commentary. But
I mean, maybe
is
it
just-
even does, but, like, this is, like, the first episode,
right.
and it didn't really draw me in. And so I'm just kind of like, it's not that funny to me. I have, like, better things to do. So I'm just going to kind of drop it probably. I might give it one more episode because I know people, like, in our group, like, super love it. And, like, cool for you guys. Like, if you just like it, awesome. But for me, I'm just kind of like,
Yeah. And
It's
not
it's
like
almost too bad too, because I was like, I see the idea of, like, the morality, just kind of like
like, it's good dumb.
It's good commentary on how, like, prudish Japan can be, and
Or just, like,
countries
culture.
anywhere
And
culture can be
Japan
about.
has some of the weirdest porn. Sorry, I know I'm interrupting you. That was just like a total brain to mouth moment.
Yeah, it's just like, it's like, on the one hand they're very prim and proper, and then they have, like, tentacle porn, and it's just like it comes out in weird ways. It's like the British stiff upper lip, very prim and proper, and yet they have things like Monty Python that is just silly and fun and over the top, and so it's like it all comes out in some way. But I'm curious to know if there's really smart commentary, or if this is just a thin veneer for, like, ridiculously
jokes,
over the
yeah.
top dirty jokes.
Yeah, and it's not to say that, we don't like ecchi, because there are shows that we like that are ecchi.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't mind that, but sometimes, like, how
It's-
people perform, like, juvenile sexual
Yeah,
humor.
it's like this
just not-
particular humor,
it's the
right?
context.
It's just not. It's not, like, the type that I personally enjoy. So,
Yeah.
like, I could see it. But if that's, like, the premise of the show, then it's just like, well, I'm not gonna enjoy it as much as other people would. Like,
Right.
penis jokes and sex jokes, and it's just like, I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes it's not your thing. So,
Sure.
I know we give grief for Elaine about it, but
You're allowed to not like things.
yeah, that's.
I
totally
do it
valid.
anyway.
Yeah. It's not illegal.
Speaking of breaking the code, Elena is staunchly, things that you don't like, you don't like. I don't know where the hell I'm going with this.
I don't know.
I don't know. I had a thought, and then as it came out, it just went.
It's okay. I mean, it's
That
kind of
happens
true.
too.
If I start to dislike something, it can be difficult to reverse it, but I do try to give shows a fair shake, which I will
Yeah.
talk about when we get to Steins Gate later today, or in the show.
Yeah.
I've got thoughts, you guys. So many of them.
I've also been starting to keep up again with Prison School.
Yay.
It's like more ecchi kind of like humor, and it does get some more awkward sexual humor that I'm like, that's just maybe a little too much. Like, some parts are, like, really funny. I really, really enjoy the animation, and it is cool. It's a very different style, and, like, the facial expressions are fantastic. But, like, spoilers. I mean, it's episode 2, but, like, at one point, a guy accidentally pees on a girl, and it's just like,
Well,
there
it is.
so that's
so
a thing.
Yeah, so it's just like, I mean, it's, like, awkward, funny.
Well,
I don't
props
know.
to you
I
for
don't know, it's just-
trying these shows that people are
yeah, I
recommending.
mean, like, I know it's, like, super popular with a lot of people, but, I mean,
you don't have to like it.
yeah, it's just not my type. Like, some stuff I do like about it, but a lot I also don't. So it's kind of, I'll give it, like, another try, and then if I'm just not, like, feeling it, then I'll drop it. But
Yeah, I want to give it a try because I don't know what episode this is from, but there's a scene in a shower where like somebody drops something and then someone sees them and they misinterpret what's going on, and I was like, okay, maybe. Maybe I could get behind the show. That was an unintended pun.
I would say get behind. Wow, this is getting lewd.
Didn't mean to be so lewd. Okay, that's
Your
my-
shock collar's gonna go off.
My shock collar. Well,
Or what is it? Light up, whatever.
whatever happens, the PMS are gonna come get me.
I'm so dumb.
Bye.
It's like
I'm quitting today.
I like most of Prison School, but some of the humor they try for it just doesn't click with me.
Yeah,
Like,
so
that's- it's just a thing. I just don't find that funny.
I want to give it a shot because I'm curious if it will click with me or not. Because I can be really hit and miss with stuff like that. Like sometimes I'm like, this is the funniest thing. Like I really like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which can just get outrageous. And I'm like, which is not an anime, by the way. But
What?
we talked about DOTA. It's
Cory
all
in the
good.
House?
Cory in the House.
Best anime?
The best.
Okay, someone explain that joke to me. I know I keep
there's-
hearing comments, but is there
Cory
like a
in-
context for it?
Cory in the House, like DS games.
Yeah, and like that and like Seinfeld.
Just
I don't know,
memes.
Just memes.
Just
They're just memes.
Memes.
Anyway.
Trash memes.
Trash memes.
That's going on the
You
list of
sit.
anime, too.
Megan sits near me, and she knows that I am trash.
No, you are not trash, but some of those memes are hilariously trash.
Yeah, but yeah. So anyway, I forget where I was going. Oh, but so I can be hit and miss. So like, I'm not sure. This is the kind of thing that I definitely have to try. Like, I can't. There's some shows like that where you don't know from the description. You don't know.
I mean, it's like
just
Food
kinda have
Wars.
to- yeah.
It was kind of like a weird what, and then it was awesome.
Yeah,
so,
the first episode with the tentacle scene, I was like, wait a minute.
yeah.
What did I sign up for?
Yeah. My mom was also like, wait a minute. And now she's ahead of me. So that's cool. I really like that show.
Yeah. Well, cool.
I just love that you got your mom into Food Wars.
Still the best thing.
Oh yeah, she's so into it. She watches it like as soon as it goes up.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well,
The power of anime.
yeah.
Yay, anime.
Yay, anime.
That was so timid. We're like,
Anyway.
Anyway.
Yay, anime!
Whoa.
There.
Wow.
I also just blew people's eardrums out. I am sorry,
Sorry.
audience.
Yeah, you better apologize. Anyway, so just kind of like to mention this week that Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F is out this week. So that's pretty cool. We have a review online done by Sean Saris. So thanks for doing that, Sean Saris. He is our Dragon Ball freelance dude. He does all the Dragon Ball things.
He also did a feature on the best Dragon Ball Z characters. So that went up yesterday. Yesterday meaning Monday. So we could probably link to those.
Yeah, absolutely. Good analysis of the characters and stuff.
Little blurbs for each.
Yeah. And one thing I want to point out with, of course, Dragon Ball coming to theaters is like a big deal because it's Dragon Ball. I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is that Funimation is actually trying to put out more anime films into theaters. So like later this year, they announced that they're going to have The Boy and the Beast, which is awesome because it's gotten really positive like buzz, and I really want to see it. So I'm like really excited that they're trying to make an effort to put more of these films out.
Yeah.
Just a side note, just like a cool thing. So let us know if you guys are going to go see it in theaters and how that experience went. So it's
Yeah.
cool.
If you have strong feelings, tweet about it and hashtag it with IGN Anime.
Yeah.
IGNIME.
That's right.
That's our hashtag.
Yes. It is our hashtag.
Yes.
And we have a Facebook page.
Yeah.
Which, once again, what is it?
Facebook.com/group/IGN Anime Club. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And while we're
Most
doing
liked.
shameless promos, you might notice that I'm once again wearing my IGN Anime Club T-shirt. It's not a smooth segue, but if
Wasn't a Megway?
it was not worthy of a Megway. But if you want one of these shirts and you want to support our club, we really appreciate it.
Yes.
And I forget the
The
URL
link
for that.
is go.ign.com/store. Very simple.
Yeah, and if you guys get one, please let us know and share your
Send
photos.
pictures.
Yeah,
Yay,
what we think of them and
photos.
stuff. We like those.
We
It's
like
cool.
photos.
It's awesome. Yeah, everyone sent in really cool photos of all of their collections for anime, and we keep getting them, and they're really awesome.
Yeah, I like seeing that stuff.
Yeah.
People have been sending in fan art. We had that Pikachu Satsuki. That was,
yeah.
that was the
Yeah.
best thing.
Pikachu!
That was like
So
a
good.
picture of Miranda, basically.
Yeah, it was adorable.
That's what I thought it was at
This is
first
my
when I
Yeah,
saw it.
it was pretty much just Miranda in a drawing.
It's my spirit animal. So,
Yeah,
you know.
basically.
Your spirit.
So, and I also like getting, people tweeted us directly we got some cool like fan art stuff there too. So I like getting those things. I like
Yeah.
hearing from
I
everybody.
love our community.
talk to you
It's so
guys.
wonderfully supportive, and you guys keep sending us really cool stuff. So thank you.
speaking of an awesome community, we had a good email. And it actually leads off our topic for this week.
Sweet.
James emailed us and said, "Hey guys, recently I've been watching a lot of Food Wars and I started to thoroughly enjoy the intro outro songs." Me too.
Same.
In the most recent episodes, they changed the songs. This isn't the first time this isn't the first anime that has done this. And I wanted to ask if any, I'm really bad at reading, guys. Ask if I write for a living and I'm terrible at reading out loud. No, to ask if any of you knew why they did this, and what are some of your most beloved anime intros and outros as well. Thanks. Love the show, James. Thanks. I love you too, James.
Thank you, James.
Yay.
Yeah, so this is a thing that does happen in anime.
Yep.
And we wanted to talk about like intros and outros. Obviously, they're like a very big part of shows, whether or not you skip them, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, they change the songs. It's kind of nice when that happens. A lot of times with new shows, sometimes if it's just like one curse, so it's like just like 12 episodes or something, then you'll just get one intro or outro. But as things go on and they get another season, it's kind of nice to get something to change up and shows that, hey, this is like the second half or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes they actually do it to tie to like a particular story arc.
Yeah.
So if they don't want to spoil anything in the opening theme or the ending theme, they'll start it one way and they'll actually use it to kind of mislead you. And then once like a major story point happens, then they'll change it to something else.
School live.
So
Perfect example.
Yeah.
that's one of the best types of openings. So I think there's like, you could probably make a graph of like all the different types and like a chart, like an organized chart
infographic,
of all the different kind of anime openings. So you have like the static normal. Oh, this is the theme song, represents all the characters. They're happy, fun, whatever. They're running anime tropes.
They're running around and
Yep.
basically
There's
they're
a
all
bird
running.
somewhere. No.
They're just all running everywhere.
Yeah. But one of the best things with School Live is that it's one of the kind of evolving intros.
Oh, I love this. Yeah.
And you don't see them that often, which kind of makes sense because it takes a lot of work, right?
It's a lot of animation to change it
It's extra
every.
stuff to add.
I don't normally evaluate the opening and ending too closely, one, because they contain spoilers, and two, they usually tend to be the same through most of the anime, but every episode of School Live, I'm looking for new frames.
Yeah.
Because it's...
Yeah, because, I mean, I guess to explain, the first episode is very, very cheerful. The song is very cheerful.
Yeah.
Apparently they're playing that song, like, everywhere in Japan, by the way.
Yeah.
My friend told me, she was like, yeah, we kept hearing it, and then we watched School Live, and we're like, what? So that song is super, super peppy and about how we're all friends. And so the first episode is, like normal school things, like lockers and a classroom. And then the second episode, it's like, oh, the windows are broken.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And the third, there's like
Whoa,
one
is
shot.
it Is it spoilers?
Nope.
But
I mean,
we
you've
won't
seen the second
say.
episode, right?
I've seen the second
Yeah.
episode,
Yeah,
but I
that's
haven't
not-
gone beyond
we've only,
that.
Yeah.
we've only said the second episode.
Okay.
But so it keeps evolving to reflect kind of, you're chipping away at Yuki's reality. And so it's really cool to like notice all those things every time.
Yeah, and so something changes in the previous episode, then the opening actually changes a little bit too.
Yeah, it reflects that.
Yeah,
Like a
it's just to
character
break
or
down
someone or
everything.
something. Yeah, and you rarely see that. Like sometimes you'll see that after a season or something, or after a character dies. Like I know in Naruto, I think they changed it for some other parts. I mean, tons of shows I'm sure have done this.
Yeah.
But like if a character's gone or something, they'll reflect it in the opening, which
Right.
is like devastating, but also great.
But
It's
not,
very- it's
not
very
anime,
final.
but also like Game of Thrones will add like different cities and stuff like that. You don't see it
Yeah.
much in any other medium, but I think anime is really good about.
Yeah, about reflecting the changes.
In the openings, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the best. So I want to know, what are your favorite anime openings that have changed? Like, how do they evolve to like reflect the show? Like, if obviously with School Live, like there's that dynamic opening, and we see a lot more. If you're not watching it, you should watch it. So yeah, let us know in the comments and such. Another opening type that I really like is just... Oh, no, that I really hate. Excuse me.
That was a change.
Like, just turn it around.
that was-
Okay. Are the very obvious, hey, let's spoil a lot of the plot in the opening and just run with it.
Yeah.
Because have you noticed, like, how many openings just, like, spoil major plot themes?
Oh, it's
Sailor
it's
Moon?
all over the place. Yeah, Sailor Moon, Slayers did a little bit.
Sailor Moon's first season actually did a really good job of not spoiling things. I don't know if you noticed
I
that.
mean, so a big thing is, Sailor Moon's identity, like Princess Serenity. that is such a big thing. Like, who is Princess Serenity? Who is she? Who is she? Where
And
is
then
she?
you see in the
And then
opening
the
her and her
opening, it's for
friends with like
Silhouette.
I don't know if I remember this because
No,
I
I mean,
remember
it's
watching
in Crystal at least for sure. Like they do that, and in the ending,
Oh,
it's
okay.
like
I thought we were talking about the original.
I mean,
Well,
even
no,
in
the original too.
too. Yeah, like there's like hints of
at the
Serenity.
very end of the, you know, fighting evil by moonlight, da da da. Like you have the girls all together with Serena in her princess dress, and they're all holding hands on her
But I
wand, and
think
they're
that's-
blasting
I
Queen
think
Beryl.
that's
and-
Oh, you're talking about the American version?
yeah.
Because the Japanese version
Sure.
actually changes over time.
Oh, does
So
that
like
change
when
over
you
time?
first start this, like that's actually one of the series I was thinking about when I was talking about the
Oh.
evolving, like based on story plot points. So the original Japanese season 1, like when the first few episodes, it actually shows just the 3 girls. That like, so there's a tiny spoiler, right? Because you haven't discovered Rei or Ami yet, but
Right.
but it actually like doles it out in these little parts. So you start with just the 3, and then like they start adding, right? And there's even one point where they kind of, if I remember right, it's been a long time, where they kind of imply that whole like Sailor V is Princess Serenity thing, but they don't actually show the Princess Serenity thing until after that's revealed.
Interesting.
So it's only Deke that's spoiled.
Yeah,
the
Deke spoiled
90s
it.
show.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Deke.
they chose I think the latest version of it for season 1, and then they just left that in. But the Japanese season 1 actually has this kind of evolving opening theme.
Interesting.
Yes, very interesting.
Nisekoi did that too in the first season before they changed the opening. So it's one of those ones where they just completely changed it halfway through. But they had like one girl that like hadn't shown up yet, but you can see her silhouette in the opening,
Right,
and then when she shows up,
Yeah, there's
see
a lot
her.
of shows like that where like there's a character that comes into a team or sort of like part of a harem or something, and then you see him in the opening. It's like, well, now I know that person is about to get involved in this, even though it could be episodes and episodes away.
yeah. So you just see her silhouette with like she has like this hair piece thing, and you see it, and I'm like, well, now I know there's another girl coming into this mix.
Sometime.
Yeah.
But
Or then like as soon as you see her, even, there's like no question. Like you don't have any. I don't know, especially with any sort of. I guess like magical girl show or anything that has a team and they're still looking for the rest of the people. It's like a very big disappointing sort of thing. I mean, maybe you could assume that this person they're highlighting is obviously going to become like a major character, but it's a little bit of a letdown that you know it beforehand.
yeah, it's not a surprise. Well, on one hand, it could help people who are like, I don't know who to pay attention to in this show if you're trying to get invested in a show. So the opening tells you like, okay, these are the people you should care about. But at the same time, it's nice to have a surprise sometimes, like, oh, this new person's joining the mix. So I guess it depends on the show. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. But that's just me. Yay, anime.
Yay, spoiler openings, jerks.
Spoiler. Oh, speaking of that, though, Madoka's opening, like, well, that's one of those openings that is very misleading because it's very happy.
Right.
And then you're like, never mind, this show makes me so sad. But, you know, she's in her, well, I guess this is Madoka spoilers, but she's in her magical girl uniform in the opening with the cat. And it's like the explanation that you get in like Rebellion and stuff, the movie. So the whole time I'm like, well, when's she gonna be a magical girl? And
Yeah.
so that was weird for me.
That's like one of those kind of weird lead-ons where, oh, we know this is going to happen some point, but when? Can we just happen now? I mean, like, at least, like, with Ushio and Tora, they kind of have a similar thing. Like, obviously, Ushio and Tora, like, fighting together, and, like,
Right.
at least buds.
Yeah, but it's not.
like, it's immediate payoff, right? It's like the
Right.
first episode, they team up, he gets the beast spirit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's nothing
Full into
super
action.
spoilery in
Right.
the beginning.
That opening is like, you're like, oh, well, they're going to be friends, but it happens immediately.
Because
so
I
it's
don't
not
care because I'm
weird.
mostly listening to the awesome intro.
Right. I think,
Oh, that intro's awesome.
The
yeah.
intro is so good.
I think one of the best things that people can do with this series, with their openings, is not have it for the first episode. And sometimes they'll use it as the ending.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the best things. And you also see that a lot with like finales too, is like they will just completely skip the opening and go straight into the show. I think that might be better just because you don't want to reveal anything too soon and because you
Right.
also kind of risk losing interest. You know?
Yeah.
And so maybe we'll see more of that. Yeah. But let us know what you guys think is the most annoying openings, especially if it revealed things that you did not want to know early.
Do you guys want to talk about any specific openings that you love? Because I would
Actually-
like to know, honestly, because I actually don't watch openings anymore after the first time.
Oh,
so,
really?
Like,
You
I'll
skip
watch
'em?
it. I'll watch it the first time just to get a sense, and sometimes I'll actually skip it because I'm afraid of spoilers. But But unless I super love it, like Gangstas, like I won't watch the whole thing, but I will often kind of not scrub completely past it because I actually really like the music.
Yeah, I watch that one every time.
Oh yeah.
For multiple reasons, let's be honest.
I know.
Yeah. Miranda's got it.
But I will sometimes be like, if I'm not super into the intro song or if the animation doesn't really do anything for me, like I will always watch My Love Story opening. I think it's really cute.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh my gosh, I love that song. And the opening is so cute. And Charlotte, actually, I love the opening animation and song for that as well.
Mm-hmm. I watch the My Love Story one every time. It also depends on if I'm binging a show. So if I'm watching like a bunch of episodes of one show, sometimes I'll skip the opening after like the second time because I'm like, okay, I've seen this twice already today.
I've seen it twice in a row. You need to push past it.
I'm like, all right, I'm going to be watching 10 episodes of this show right now, so I don't need to watch the opening every time.
Yeah.
But then
I
one
never
that
skipped the opening to Michiko and Hachin, though.
Oh, I was going to bring that one up. I love that opening.
It's so good.
The animation's gorgeous. Just like the colors and the
style.
The art style is gorgeous. And the song fits the like setting super well.
Oh sorry, I can't sing, but I just love that opening. It's got that Latin flavor, and it's so good.
I really, really like that one.
Yeah, another one I never skip, or I never skipped, was the Your Lie in April opening for the first one. I don't like the second one as much, but I would never skip that one because it's like really great. It's by Goose House.
Mm-hmm.
It was just one of my favorite. Also, Cowboy Bebop. Because that thing is a classic.
That is classic. Oh, Samurai Champloo, speaking of Cowboy Bebop, because it's basically the same people. Samurai Champloo's Battle Cry is such a sick song, and the style of the opening is so good that I'll actually watch that as well.
I liked the first Attack on Titan opening with obviously the Sie sind das Essen und wir sind die Jäger. But then the second one, I was just like, whatever.
So one thing also about the Attack on Titan opening is it has like a lot of like hidden messages in it and allusions and stuff to what happens in the series. And those are also one of my favorite types of openings is like whenever they have like very embedded with things. If you analyze and pick them apart, you can figure things out.
Yeah, I love being able to like fully analyze a show, especially like, I mean, we've been doing that with School Live. Like, I like coming to work and being like, oh my God, did you notice the thing? Did you see that? Like, I love when it gives you room to, I mean, if you don't want to analyze it, you don't have to.
You don't,
but it's there for you.
It's so rewarding to do so.
Yeah. So what other anime openings can you guys just not skip? Like, I mean, either for just like listening or because of, you have to sit down and
Slayers.
Just, like, analyze it.
Oh my God, Slayers, especially Slayers Next, Give a Reason. Oh, it's so good. Any old school Slayers fans, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I have all the soundtracks to all Slayer seasons except for Evolution R and Revolution because those are garbage. But that's a different discussion for a different day. But like Slayers Next, the Slayers movies, Just Be Conscious. Oh, all these things are so good.
Escaflowne.
Yeah.
Good choice. So beautiful. I love the opening theme. That played at Anime Expo while I was waiting for the Funimation panel to start.
Yeah?
And I started to tear up. I love that
it's so good.
song.
My
that opening
was so good. Also, it's really funny to say because, I mean, it's not like the best in the world. I think this is just like my teenage self having fallen so in love with it that I can't let it go emotionally. But Magic Knight Ray Earth's like first opening, like the first season opening.
Oh, yeah.
Someone played that at Fanime. And I was in the middle of a dance down, and I literally stopped and was like, yes!
Yeah.
My gosh.
I have a few, like, I have a list on YouTube or just like a playlist of like my favorite openings, and I just cycle through.
Yeah, I do that too.
There's some that are so good to listen to.
Yeah.
Sailor Moon.
Playlist. No.
I like the first Kill la Kill one a lot.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like the second one, but I just really liked the first one.
The Kill la Kill OST overall is just amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So
I could listen to all
that's
of
a
it.
discussion for another day.
Oh,
but
wait, no, really quick though.
yeah.
Someone did, Blumenkranz or
Oh my
whatever?
God, the
the
cover?
Bloomin' Kanye?
Oh,
no,
no,
the
yeah.
Bloomin' Kanye mashup.
Yeah,
Look it up.
there's-
It's what's her face's theme. What's her name again?
Ragyo.
Ragyo, yeah.
Yeah.
It's Ragyo's theme, but with 21st Century Schizoid Man, whatever that song is actually called, the Kanye version. It's so good.
There's so many. That's a discussion for another. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna do soundtracks sometime.
I'm totally
but
blanking whatever song you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, it's
I'm like,
so good.
I'll go look it up.
Well, I'll fill
Yeah.
you in later. But
Yeah, so OSTs, but I did like that OP.
yeah,
a lot.
I really like Watamotes. If you guys don't know that show, it's about the girl
it's
who's
on
like
my
super
list.
awkward
Yeah.
and is kind of a shut-in and socially awkward.
Yeah.
It has like a really hardcore like kind of screamo song, and
Sweet.
it's so good. Also, like Parasite kind of had one. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I like the band a lot. I don't know what it's called. Like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, like the film, but it's a Japanese band as well. So, you know, whatever. Like they do like a lot of really cool and weird stuff. Like they do like kind of screamo stuff with jazz and piano sometimes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they like kind of mix up with like the rock and blend them pretty well.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's like definitely a little bit different. That was for Parasite, but Matsumote, different band, also great screamo stuff.
God, so many anime soundtracks back in the 90s. Like I'm literally going through them right now in my mind, like trying to like pick out the ones that were like, because they used to have like best of anime soundtracks too, and they have the opening and endings to different things. So like,
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I did that again. So I was like, I'm so excited today. I was curious, how often do you guys listen to ending songs? Do you find that you listen to opening songs more than ending songs, or do you actually listen to them equally?
depends on the anime.
I was gonna say depends on if there's stuff after the ending. So like My Love Story, I like that ending song because it's just cute and I just love that show. But then there's like a little teaser at the end that like I don't have to watch, so I could skip the ending, but I don't.
It's very hard to find like that one really catchy ending like you have to listen to. For my case, it was with Blood Blockade Battlefront. Has a fantastic kind of jazzy ending. It's like really upbeat.
Yeah.
Like the characters all dancing. It's like a party. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I really liked that one too.
I never skip that one, and it's very hard to find that. Like I know like Sailor Moon Crystal's ending is trash. Sorry, but it's
weirdly it
not
grew
good.
on me, but only because I hated
like
it so much in the beginning, and then as I had to keep doing it for the review, it started to grow on me. Like I once I adjusted my expectations, and nothing will beat the original '90s soundtracks, which I had a ton of, and I still have.
But you brought up a good point in that watching or at least skipping past the ending is important because sometimes there's that little extra bit of something at the end.
Yeah.
And I think a lot more shows have been doing that recently. Like if you'll get to like a 20-minute point and it stops and it goes to the ending, it's like keep watching.
No, I
There's
thought
something.
they always
Don't leave.
have had that.
Not
yeah.
all shows, though.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
all shows, but I've
Gangsta
seen
doesn't do a
it a
teaser.
lot more
Yeah, no.
frequently, at
Okay.
least with like.
I don't know. In the
not necessarily-
'90s, I can't think of an anime
right?
that didn't
It's
do
not necessarily a teaser, but it's just an extra bit of a clip,
Just
like
a little
sometimes-
something.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
think
see what you're
sometimes My
saying.
Love
I see
Story
what
has
you're
that
saying.
or
Oh,
other
okay.
stuff. I
Yeah,
think
like,
it did.
Yeah, I
yeah,
thought you
like,
had, like, a
sometimes. Well,
preview.
there was one episode of My Love Story recently where like the ending music played over, like they didn't have the actual ending animation. They just kept going with the story.
Right.
Like they just were like, well, we ran out of time, but here's more.
Right.
So yeah, and sometimes there's like a little something
School
else.
Live ending was a little bit different this time too. Like it had the old timey movie.
Yeah.
I think they're changing up their endings.
Yeah, they've
Yeah.
been changing it up.
So I like that
Yeah.
they've been changing their endings.
So I thought of this when Elena was like, oh, and then I had an oh moment for myself. I would always listen to and sing along with the Poke Rap every time. I don't see Pokemon in my mind, like I categorize it as something else than anime because I was so involved with like everything Pokemon. But so it took me a while to think of it. But yeah, I would listen to the Poke Rap like every time, and
You knew all of
I still know quite a lot of it. It's
You want to do it now?
no, I do not. Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Maybe we'll have some sake in here. For like a proper Megane party, and then we'll have like sake.
Have
Sake
the adult
and-
version of
We'll bust
Club.
out the Shochikubai and we'll have like we'll down some sake.
the Anime Host Club, and then I will perform the Poke Rap for you all, but
Yeah.
not
Maybe
not
one
on
day.
this day. Yes.
Maybe without the mics, but you know.
We'll bring Tamaki Senpai back,
Oh,
and we'll just
Oh.
we'll have drinks and we'll.
So, I'm curious, but Elena, you always skip it. Like, always skip the endings.
I don't always.
in the boot.
Usually what happens is that I'll watch that first episode, right? And then when the ending theme like comes on, I will give it like 15 to 20 seconds and I'll instantly decide, do I like this? Do I not like this? And if I like it, I'll listen the whole way through. If I don't, I'll just go straight to the next episode.
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
Let us know your habits. Do you skip the endings? Is it bad if you do? Tell us.
Yes, and what are your favorite openings and endings?
Yeah.
Because I'm curious to know what other people like really love. Like I don't know, is it gonna be like Naruto or One Piece or like anime we haven't mentioned?
Wait a minute.
Wait
you
a
can't
second.
bring up One Piece without talking about the Yo Ho Ho Took a Bite of Gum Gum version. the English version where they're like, dream it, don't give it up. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No,
Nope. I did not watch One Piece.
I didn't watch One Piece.
You
I've only seen One
enlighten
Piece in
us.
Japanese.
Okay, so I know people have thought that the show is not One Piece. I do like One Piece. It's just a matter of trying to catch up with all of it. But so I think it was, yeah, we have there. Mike Mamone in this office is 100% caught up on One Piece.
That's awesome.
And I'm like,
Oh, we need
that
to have
is-
him on the show.
He's
then.
magic.
That's amazing.
Magic Mike, you might say. I'm sorry, that just happened. Anyway, no, I think it was 4Kids did the localization back in the day. I saw that.
We're just exchanging looks over here. What?
Whatever. You let me come on. So, so the 4Kids localization. I think it was 4Kids. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure because 4Kids did some wacky things. But the English like opening for One Piece was just this ridiculous. Just they had like Dream It, kind of like Naruto's Believe It.
Believe it.
Yeah. And then my favorite line is because the origin story of like Luffy and why he's all rubbery is he had the gum fruit, and so there's a line where they just go yo ho ho took a bite of gum, and it's just the best thing. It's my favorite thing ever. So
All right, I have to look that up.
To give them better credit though, like Naruto and One Piece and like Bleach had fantastic openings.
yeah,
Like some of the better ones. I know I actually started like downloading some tracks from like Uberworld and like Flow because they did openings for like Bleach and Naruto and they're just so good. So they do some cool stuff too.
Cool.
Yeah, so let us know. What are your favorite openings? What are your favorite endings? We already told you to tell us, but really tell us. No.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Do it.
I won't be so forceful.
believe it.
Believe it. Yeah, believe it.
If you just heard a just like endless beep, because
It's
Miranda
Miranda's fault.
lost her gum gums.
Welp.
Dang it.
We try to keep this show clean and family friendly, but
Yeah,
every
like
once in a while,
Yeah, it's like a thing we kind of have to do, but at least we'll get a new cool sound. Maybe, I don't know, I'll figure it out.
Beyond took the meow, which would have been my first choice.
yeah, I was
Say
gonna
we
say
do a
it'd be
pika.
perfect.
Yan.
Or
Oh,
nyan.
nyan, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we should just have people vote on what our swear
what is our
sound should
swear
be.
sound?
And then we
call
could
to
swear
action.
Make
more.
it no, because it's a lot of editing for me. But,
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
Oh, shoot.
So not, but still.
I'm not going to swear again. Okay, we actually have to wrap this up pretty soon.
All
so,
right.
yeah.
Steins Gate.
Steins Gate. Watch party, yeah.
Yeah, watch party.
Round 2.
Woohoo!
Yes, round 2. I have copious notes on Steins Gate, which we're not going to get to, but there was so much to unpack from both
Wow.
episodes. Like
I'm impressed because the whole time I just watched it thinking, you're not Cowboy Bebop.
I love the slow burn because there's a lot to process, and some people are like it's too slow, and I don't
I
like
think more
it.
people
it's too
said that
boring, but
like we have a lot of confusion. Like we'll get to some of those comments too. But rightly so. Like I think that's
very confusing.
Yeah, I mean,
As
I
time.
don't like it.
Whoa.
Elena,
okay.
no.
I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
I can't help it.
You know what? I've only heard like how great it is, and when it first came out, a friend of mine tried to get me to watch it, and I had school, so I just didn't. But yeah, these first 2 episodes, I was kind of like, okay, I hate this man. I hate him. He's annoying, and he's dumb, and I hate him.
So, quick question before we get into this: did you guys watch the subs or the dubs?
Sub.
I watched both, and I vastly prefer the dub.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
Oh.
vastly
I-
prefer the dub.
cannot stand the Mayuri dub.
I'm
that
not a
girl?
fan of her
Yeah.
voice acting, but
I cry.
Rintaro and
took it as all
Itaru
wrong.
have
It's all
fantastic voice acting. Well, she's annoying in both.
No,
Oh,
she's,
she's-
perfect.
No, she's
Mayuri?
hot
No,
garbage.
she's super annoying.
I
super
love
annoying.
Mayuri so much.
Well, he keeps saying that they're like
She's like
childhood
me.
friends, and I keep wondering. So, do you
She's
make
not
a
like you.
habit
What
of
are you talking
befriending children 10 years younger than you?
Yeah, she's.
She acts like she's like 10.
She refers to herself in the third person.
Yes, I caught that, and I just
Why is it okay though when the little Himouto from
because
friggin-
she's like college age. You don't do that when you're 20. If you're 13 and you have a tragic family life, I can give you a pass.
I love that you cling to that. You're like it's
her
way of
all about
coping.
the
It's a coping mechanism.
But
tragic
if you're
backstory.
20 years old and you don't seem to have any outward trauma that I can discern, I have a harder time.
Wait,
with
I have to
this.
fight you on that because there is a moment where you do see her standing in front of a grave. That was
Oh.
in
But I-
there.
well,
That's what's so
yeah,
great
yeah,
about
True,
the show.
but
is
I
it's
thought
foreshadowing.
that was a time travel thing, not necessarily like a glimpse into her past.
Well, so that's the interesting thing, though. That's why I like this show so far, is you have to think and you have to pay attention, which is why I took copious notes, because there are all sorts of little things that are happening that I know will be explained.
Speaking of little things, I'm going to bring up a comment from Daniel, which is at Salamander119 on Twitter, said, almost forgot how confusing Steins Gate is. Lol. Yes, lol indeed.
Lol.
Lol.
But can we take a moment to appreciate that they mentioned Doctor Who? Yes, there was
Yes,
Doctor
we
Who.
can.
That was so cute. Yeah, speaking of, like, the little things, like it passes by super quick. It's when Kurisu is just talking about how time travel can't happen, and she's like, you gotta disprove your little blue flying telephone box theory, and I was just like, Doctor Who!
Yes.
It's just like as charming as it is. And I like that she said as charming as it is, because it's like, no, don't poo-poo all over Doctor Who. But she's like
Tiny,
debunking
whiny.
these theories like piece by piece. And I loved how like that was just so hard for Rintaro to like wrap his head around. It's like, no, you can't be that articulate. It's not fair. But she is totally like, that's what's intriguing to me, is like everything that happens with her, and like he sees her dead, but then she's alive, and the thing with the banana, and like all these little tiny things, or like Alpaca Man. You're like, what am I watching? And then it's like, oh, this is foreshadowing good stuff. I have faith.
I mean, this is tied to a video game series, right? So I think watching it the whole way through, one of the reasons why I thought I don't like this is because I'd much rather play it.
So
than
it's a
watch it.
visual novel, so it has like branching paths as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
And that's exactly what I was getting the vibe of, right? So Catherine is one of my favorite games. I was so reminded of Catherine the entire time I was watching both these episodes. And I felt that it would have been far more interesting for me personally to play this as a game than to watch it unfold like this. It gets better in episode 2, I will give you that. It's not nearly as annoying to watch. What's his face with the many names?
Rintaro, which is another thing I want to know about.
Yeah.
Like, he has 2 names.
Okari and are like,
Holy
holy.
Kyoma,
Yeah, Kyoma,
Rintaro,
whatever, like,
and
he
I'm
has
curious to know
scientist.
why he has 2
Mad
names.
scientist.
And it's in the episode 2, it gets a little more clear that these are college students that are just, effing around, basically.
Yeah.
And they're poor, and they're just up to random shenanigans that you would when you're that age. And I can kind of understand that, but I still don't like it. We'll see how I feel after episode 3. I am giving it a 3-episode rule.
To all those people who are on your same boat, like it's just confusing, like the characters are fine, but maybe not, definitely stick with it. It is one of my top anime. I think it is definitely something you should stick with and be patient with, and understand that, it's supposed to be confusing. It's like, it's time travel.
It's time travel. It feels like it's spoon feeding you the information, and it has to. There's a ton to process.
Like,
Time travel is weird.
Yeah, surprisingly, a lot of stuff they tell you early on is super important. But
That's
it's
what I figured.
Not terrible that you forget it, because it plays in later, and they will remind you when. It's like, remember that time?
Yeah.
Remember that one time?
And remember that, like, the whole thing with, like, in the very beginning when he's at the lecture and he's like, it was, I wrote down the name, it was like John Tintaro or something like.
John Teeter?
Yeah, sorry.
Teeter, yeah.
I have it somewhere down here. But, like, he's accusing the guy of stealing those theories, and then later it's like this guy doesn't exist and he can't find books on him. Like, all these things are hints that something, obviously, some sort of time paradox is
And they're not very subtle. They're very like, hey, there's
really
weird
clear.
stuff going on.
They basically tell you straight up that you're running on a parallel track now.
You
Something
are,
changed.
but
Yeah,
it
with
still feels
that
like they're
lo-
little
yeah.
things that, like, you think you're focused on this and other stuff. Where I went back and watched it and I was like, oh, that also could come into play.
It's one of those things where it's supposed to be confusing, but not too confusing, because they do give you kind of, like, it's very obvious that the timeline has changed with the books are gone. It's like, okay, duh.
Or the
time-
satellite just randomly appearing in the building.
It's
You're
like, it's
all right,
very
something
clear,
happened.
but it's still, they're setting it up for you to want to find out
Like,
more
why
what's
and
going
how.
on. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm definitely interested in it. I'm just like, I'm waiting. He's annoying. I'm just like, I want to smack him. I'm like, stop
I
being
love
weird.
him. I mean, in the dub version, he is
I-
hilariously like obnoxious. Like the
Maybe
way
I
they.
Yeah.
I prefer the dub vastly
Okay.
because the more the humor comes through. Where in the Japanese it's very subtle and he is really obnoxious, but like in the dub they play it a little more for laughs, like the whole mad scientist thing, and so his relationship with Itaru is a lot funnier, and he's just it's a little more slapstick delivered, and I think that buoyed up the sort of serious, obnoxious part of it and made it more humorous.
So we're only 2 episodes in. And so far we have 2 yes and 2 no for the mad scientist. So I actually really like that he plays on this, like, kind of, like, he full in invests on, like, the crazy mad scientist, like, oh, there's an organization trying to catch me sort of thing. Because we don't see a lot of that strange sort of characteristics or character at all for a protagonist in anime. Like, he's like one of the most, like, notable characters just because of how obscure he is and with what he does, and he completely invests in it. Like, he obviously
fall
knows
into an archetype,
right? He doesn't. He obviously knows that, like, it's just silly, and like his friends know. That what he does, it's like they play along because it's fun, and he's just being silly. But he plays it off so well, and it gets. Oh gosh, guys, it's so good.
I love when they're in the bunny cafe, by the way.
Oh,
that was
yeah,
hilarious.
that was
Right?
good.
Just,
I thought
like,
It's a cat cafe.
It's
oh,
cats.
I said bunny.
Maid cafe, and they're dressed as cats.
And
Yeah,
okay.
and 'cause that was actually fun to listen
liked
to the
that.
sub where you keep hearing. They don't
Yeah.
actually subtitle every time she says it though, but she throws it in a lot.
Yeah,
There's
she's
a little
just,
meow
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Little
yeah,
man.
yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed the maid cafe.
I
That
will
was
say
good.
episode 2, one things I did really like about the series so far is that the humor started coming through much more clearly in episode 2. I love that whole section where he's like, but he's a dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where he's like, the like more feminine, the epitome of femininity, but he's a dude. Like, just like the whole like series of that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and that's probably going to come. And there were a couple of characters, like the mysterious girl who's looking for the old IMBM machine, and like the girl with the TV. Like, who are they? We're going to find out. So interesting.
So we actually had a ton of fantastic comments. I'm gonna read one from episode 2. Like, I had a whole bunch printed out, but we're actually about to get kicked out of our room. So
Yeah, I saw you do
is why-
this, and I was like,
this is why we can't go on for 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever. Like
Or
some
we
people do.
would.
Yeah. So from episode 2, Time Travel Paranoia, John Smith on Facebook said, I watched the first 2 episodes of Steins Gate, and it's good so far. I love how grounded the show is in the real world, not only when it comes to time travel theories and such, but also stuff like eBay, Dr. Pepper, and Google Pops Up, for example, with their alternate names,
I know
Goodle.
that cracked me up with
Yeah.
like
DK
IGN.
yeah.
Not sure why everyone is still using flip phones though, which
Good point.
Oh, that's a Japan thing.
it's a
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
It's
very
an
Japan.
Asia thing.
Yeah,
Like,
that's-
like they still love flip phones over there.
I
Yeah.
don't know either, but anyway, I pulled some wiki articles from my anime list discussion board for the second episode. I put them here. Anyway, so on our Facebook page, he actually had an awesome discussion, and he pulled a lot of the names and references from one of the my anime list discussion boards, kind of cultivated them and put them on our Facebook group, and it kind of provides even more insight. Like, how far do you want to go with this show? So like you can really dig into like the theories and stuff, because what they're saying is actually very smart.
Yeah.
And even though it is like an anime, like, they pay attention. Like, it is very detailed, and they try to be like as
They did their research, you know.
accurate. You know.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's definitely really cool. So thank you for posting those. Yeah. And thank you guys for letting us know. Of course, we would love to read more. We will probably get some more comments because there's a lot of people sending us stuff in. So do not be discouraged if we didn't get to read yours, because there's a lot I wanted to read, like way more too, that didn't even get on my sheet. But we've got to cut off or else we're getting in trouble. So please join us next time for the Anime Watch Party. We're going to be watching episodes 2 and 3 of Steins Gate, and Steins Gate is available
3
legally.
and 4.
3 and 4. Sorry, 2 and 3. 3 and 4. And you can watch Steins Gate. I think they have a Blu-ray out, along with Viewster, Hulu, and Funimation. And those are all I know for sure. I think it used to be on Netflix, maybe. I don't remember, but I thought I,
I
saw it once.
vaguely remember. I think I saw it once.
But it's not on there anymore, at least for the U.S. But if not, yeah. So I hope
you
you
have
guys
lots of
enjoy it.
options.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today. If you want to contribute, send us any questions, anything, you can email at us, IGN_Anime Club. So again, IGN_Anime Club at IGN.com.
Yes, you can also reach us on Twitter at Callie.
I am Inky Dojiko, INKYDOJIKKO.
I'm at Havoc Rose, Havoc with a K.
At Megan, MEGHAN_IGN.
And I am at Morphing Ball.
Cool. And that is IGN Anime Club episode 16. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yay,
go watch
anime!
anime! Yeah.
Yay!